On News Hour tonight. Kaduna residents protest as bandits attack community following failed peace accord. Again, court stops PDP from holding national convention.
Nobody does that.
We did not carry anybody.
The man took that. We will not allow because he was cheap on the and then for you to carry land.
Sir, everything was acquired legally.
Will you stop that? Will you stop that?
I'm an officer, I have integrity.
Shut up, your man, put
I will not shut up.
Will you get out?
Wike, soldiers, FCT officials face off over land issues in Abuja. And away from Nigeria, senior Tanzanian opposition leaders released on bail, party says. Hello, good evening and welcome to News Hour on Trust TV. I am Dorcas Yakubuzala. We begin tonight with security matters. Residents of Njonku community in Malumfashi local government area of Kaduna State have taken to the streets blocking the Gidam-Mutundaya Malumfashi road in protest over renewed bandit attacks that left one person dead and 5 others abducted during a late night assault on Monday. The latest attack comes just weeks after the signing of Kakumi Peace Accord, which was meant to restore calm to troubled communities in the area. The angry protesters, mostly youths from Njonku, set up roadblocks and burned tires, accusing the government of failing to protect their lives and property. It described the peace deal with bandits as a complete failure. According to residents, the attackers stormed the village around midnight and operated for nearly 5 hours without any intervention from security forces despite frantic calls for help. In an attempt to disperse the protesters, military personnel reportedly opened fire, leading to the death of one person while 3 others sustained critical injuries and were rushed to the hospital. Residents are now demanding stronger government action, calling for the deployment of more troops to combat banditry in the area once and for all.
As residents of Malumfashi, we can no longer sleep peacefully. We can't go to our farms to harvest our crops or even pray safely in our mosque. We are suffering. Banditry has destroyed our communities. Until now, we still don't know how many people were abducted from this village, apart from those killed. We are pleading with the state and federal governments to come to our rescue. My name is Aminu Umar. Last year, my child was abducted and I paid a ransom of 5 million naira. This year, my wife has also been kidnapped and the bandits are again demanding 5 million naira for her release. We are appealing for government intervention. People are being killed, abducted, and our livestock rustled. We are living in fear every day.
Everybody, we can't sleep in our home. We have to go outside to do the government is not paying us. Government employ people to keep us safe. But the manpower is short. That's number one. Number two, all the palm produce, all the palms has been cleared. So these people, you can see them from 1 kilometer. Government has every right to protect us, and we are tired. So please, I'm calling Mr. President, we are tired. I'm APC grassroots supporter. I did APC since Maja, and I'm still in APC. But I don't blame my governor, I don't blame my local government chairman, but I blame federal government, because federal government has every right to protect me.
Our correspondent in Kaduna, Abdullahi Yamadi, is joining us via phone call to give an update on the situation. Good evening, and thank you for joining us on the News Hour.
Thank you very much.
Okay, now what is driving the renewed attacks in Malumfashi despite the peace deal?
Well, we can say largely it is due to failure from both sides. That is from the repentant bandits, and of course the local communities. We have learned that some of the agreements have not been fulfilled, and this is coming from all the sides. From the part of the bandits, what they are saying is that they have requested the local authorities to release all their members serving various jail terms in various correctional facilities across the states, which many of them are still serving these jail terms. They have not been released. Some of their members are still under police custody. They have not been released. And they have been saying that if they have not been released, people should not expect 100% ceasefire. And of course, from what we learned, they have been suggesting the appointment of some of their leaders in the security committees of the local councils, where the peace accord was reached, at least to serve as members. Or rather, their members should be appointed as Fulanis and Argos. These Fulanis and Argos are elderly people highly respected among Fulani communities. They requested the local authorities to appoint some of their elders in those positions, at least to serve as contact persons. In the event of any mistrust, they should be reporting to the local authorities from ward to village head up to the district head to at least have communication, unbroken communication.
All right.
And they are saying that has not been done. And from the part of the local authorities, they said they want a total ceasefire by the repentant bandits, and that has not been achieved.
All right, so reports suggest that the protests turned violent after security forces intervened. What measures have the authorities taken in response? Well,
the combined team of army, police, and civilian JTF went to the community, that is Janku to be precise, to douse tension there and at least to pacify with the residents there. And they are still there. According to reports, the security personnel have still stationed themselves at the community until when the whole issue is resolved.
Has normalcy returned to the communities affected by the unrest?
Normalcy is yet to be restored because just before the news hour, I discussed with some of the members of the community who said they are citing a movement of some people suspected to be bandits just outskirts of the Danjanku community this night. So they are in fear, and of course they said most of them have fled the community, and they doubt if the security personnel can take responsibility of guarding the community for now.
Thank you very much, Abdullahi Yamadi, for joining us and for giving us that update.
Thank you most sincerely for having me.
Moving on to more stories. On a sad note, suspected bandits have killed 5 people, including a pregnant woman, during an attack on Al-Khalije village in Yabo local government area of Sokoto State. The assailants reportedly invaded the community in the early hours of Monday, shooting indiscriminately at residents. Al-Khalije village, which falls under Kalgori district, shares borders with Silame local government area and some communities in Kebbi State. According to local sources, 2 other residents sustained gunshot wounds and are receiving treatment at a nearby hospital. A community leader who spoke on condition of anonymity lamented the frequent attacks on their villages by gunmen suspected to be crossing over from Kebbi State. The community leader appealed to the government to establish a security outpost in the area to help curb the attacks, noting that there is currently none. When contacted, the spokesman of the Sokoto State Police Command, DSP Ahmed Rufai, said he was not yet aware of the incident but promised to make inquiries. Away from security matters, a dramatic confrontation unfolded in Abuja on Tuesday when the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Nyesom Wike, was blocked by armed soldiers from accessing a disputed plot of land allegedly linked to former Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awal Zubairu Gambo, retired. Habibat Ajayi has more.
I'm not
You are the fool.
I'm not a fool,
You
sir.
can shoot anybody like that.
Sir, I'm not
You
a
are the
fool.
fool. Who are you
I am
talking
not
about?
a fool, sir.
The minister, who has made the enforcement of land use regulations a central plank of his administration, had arrived at the site and complained of the officials from the FCTA Department of Development Control following reports of illegal development and land grabbing. According to the Director of Development Control, Mukhtar Galadima, the property in question was not allocated by the FCT administration and had no valid documents of ownership or building approval. But as Wike's convoy approached the fenced site, a group of uniformed soldiers positioned at the entrance reportedly moved to deny him access. What followed was an extraordinary exchange that underscored the tension between civilian authority and military influence in the capital's land administration as the atmosphere quickly grew charged.
The man took the Arab, who not Arab going was chief of naval staff, and I you to carry land.
Sir, everything was acquired legally.
Will you stop
and so you
that?
get the
Will you stop that?
Sir, I'm an officer, I have integrity.
Shut up, your man, put
Sir, I
yourself.
will not shut up.
Will you get out?
Sir, I won't shut up. Sir, I'm a
I
professional
was in
officer.
school, you're not in school.
Sir, you can't shut
Will
me
you
up.
keep quiet?
You can't
Get
shut
a
me
big
up, sir.
fool.
I'm not
You are the fool.
I'm not a fool,
You
sir.
can shoot anybody like that.
Sir, I'm not
You
a
are the
fool.
fool. Who are you
I am
talking
not
about?
a fool, sir.
As for the time I graduated, you were in primary school.
I'm acting on orders.
Take for which
You can't
order?
call me a fool.
I guess you will see whether you will not be here.
Sir, you can't call me a fool.
Go
I'm
and open up your
an
mouth,
officer.
open up
I'm not a fool, sir. I'm an officer.
You will have killed everybody.
No, we won't kill anybody. We won't kill anybody. We're acting on orders.
The confrontation marks one of the most dramatic episodes yet in Wike's ongoing crackdown on unauthorized land acquisitions in the capital, a campaign that has seen several high-profile demolitions and investigation into questionable property deals since he assumed office in 2023. The tense exchange ended with Wike turning away in anger and leaving the scene, but not before addressing journalists who had followed his convoy.
And when they came here, I was informed that the soldier of the military had to chase them away. And I thought probably they will be acting illegally. And so today, while I was in the office, while they came to implement the directive that was given to them by myself, I was called that the military have taken over the place. And I have to come by myself to see things for myself. It's really unfortunate. And you heard what the officer said was said by the former Chief of Naval Staff. And I don't understand how somebody who attained that position and see that he has a problem cannot approach my office to say, look, this is what is going on, this is what is going on. But simply because he's a military man, he could use that to intimidate Nigerians. I'm not one of those kind of persons that will succumb to blackmail or intimidation. And you can imagine where you cannot even prove where are the documents. And the director of development control is there. I said, look, I was there. I said, bring the documents. You don't have the documents.
Wike says he had already contacted the Chief of Defense Staff and the Chief of Naval Staff, both of whom, he claimed, assured him that the situation would be resolved. Neither the retired naval chief nor the Nigerian Navy had publicly commented on the incident as of press time. Habibat Ajayi, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Still in the FCT, a federal high court in Abuja has for the second term restrained the People's Democratic Party, PDP, from holding its national convention scheduled to hold in Ibadan, Oyo State, between November 15th and 16th. The court also barred the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, from supervising, monitoring or recognizing the outcome of the convention where national officers are expected to be elected. Justice Peter Lifu on Tuesday issued the fresh order while delivering a ruling in an application brought by a former governor of Jigawa State, Sule Lamido. Lamido had taken the party before the court, complaining that he was denied the opportunity to buy the chairmanship nomination form to enable him to participate in the convention. The judge predicated the restriction order against PDP because the party refused, neglected, and failed to comply with relevant conditions and laws for the conduct of such conventions. In his final pronouncement, the judge restrained PDP from proceeding with the convention billed for November 15th and 16th or any other date in Ibadan or any other place. He also stopped INEC from supervising, monitoring, or recognizing the outcome of any convention that will be organized by the PDP. In reaction, the People's Democratic Party says it will proceed with its convention as scheduled. The party's Deputy National Publicity Secretary, Ibrahim Abdullahi, told Daily Trust in a phone conversation on Tuesday evening that there are no plans to postpone the event.
It's a waste of time. We have already gone too far to be asked to stop. I mean, we are not a political party founded by a court of law. We are a political party founded by Nigerians, and we are expected to listen to Nigerians, not procure judgment. But that's what this is. You know, there's no way you will stop. We have a subsisting Supreme Court judgment that says internal affairs of the parties are within their exclusive rights. And so we're adhering to that one. Even if you choose not to yield to the Oyo State High Court, that equally authorize us to go ahead with our convention. So we cannot be playing to the gallery of judges and judiciary. We have gone too far. There's no stopping us. Let them just wait when we finish. Let them not recognize it if they can. In any case, to stay it, appeal for judgment.
Political leaders at a summit on electoral reforms have called for people-centered legislation and greater citizen participation as the foundation for credible elections in Nigeria. Participants also urged Nigerian leaders to treat the recent invasion threat by U.S. President Donald Trump as a wake-up call to urgently address the country's growing insecurity. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman completes the report.
The summit themed critical constitutional amendments for credible elections in 2027 also examined implications and partnership of Donald Trump's warning on growing insecurity in Nigeria. Keynote speakers Dr. Obiageli Ezekwesili and Professor Ikechukwu offered sharp insights connecting electoral credibility with national stability and accountability.
The insurgency in Nigeria is needed by stakeholders in the global arms trade. Are we aware of that? Those guns must be sold, those those factories must keep producing. And so you find a combination of several factors, and I'll end on that by citing an incident that occurred in 2023, or thereabouts, November. Some of us were invited as guests by the multinational joint task force in N'Djamena, comprising the military of Nigeria, Cameroon, Chad, and Niger. When we got to Maiduguri, to go to N'Djamena, we had to use a helicopter. The pilots were Russians. We were flying almost at route level. Nobody fired catapult at us. There is a serious economy around the crisis.
Granting INEC its own prosecutorial unit or guaranteed access to dedicated prosecutors would ensure timely action against electoral violation. Here, I argue that codifying the use of technology for results transmission in order to make it entirely explicit would reduce the opportunities for the manipulations, massive manipulations.
Pro-democracy campaigners and political figures also shared their views on the path to reforming Nigeria's electoral system.
If you are waiting for government to make any reform, you are wasting your... Before election, there must be resistance to those who don't want proper election. If you refuse to reform voluntarily, you'll be deformed by the circumstances around. If you listen to Nigerians, we have democratized grievances.
Even as we know, these excellencies are the very people who have destroyed this country. So for goodness sake, how do we hope to make progress if we are bringing the same people who have destroyed the same country and asking them to reform the elections or to reform whatever we want them to reform?
Many good people, many people with vision, many people with ideas, many people of honor and respect can't get into the position of leadership in this country because they don't have money to share.
The Electoral Commission must be unbundled because there's too much work for the Electoral Commission. And how do we unbundle it? It must be unbundled into three places. One, the Electoral Commission, which is responsible for the election. Two, we have the Enforcement Commission. Then thirdly, we have the Delineation Commission.
It's not the fact that you go to vote on election day. It's the fact that you disengage from the process that leads to the election and the process after the election. Because election actually is a pre, during, and post effect. Because you have to participate in the laws that govern election. You have to go out and vote and make sure your vote counts. And you have to also participate in anybody that had been announced as the elected person to make sure you put them on their toes.
While similar summits and dialogues in the past have helped shape Nigeria's leadership recruitment process, speakers noted that gaps still remain in achieving transparent, credible and inclusive elections. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The federal government is holding talks with authorities of the United States over the military threat by U.S. President Donald Trump. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Muhammad Idris, disclosed this during an interview on Sky News. He revealed that diplomatic channels are proving effective towards rapprochement in the tense relationship between the government of the United States and Nigeria. The minister explained that the Nigerian government has not lost any territory to the Boko Haram terrorists, insisting that the war against insurgency is not conventional warfare. He alleged that a direct connection exists between a proscribed separatist element and U.S. lobby groups aimed at misinforming U.S. authorities.
The Nigerian government still insists that some of these assumptions that you have put out are based on data that largely cannot stand any scientific scrutiny. Yes, we do have religious issues in Nigeria. Yes, we do have security issues, especially in the northeastern part of the country, the northwest, and the north central part of the country as well. People are being killed in the mosques. People are also being killed in churches. We agree all that. And remember that when President Trump came into office the first time, he worked with Nigeria to ensure that some of these people perpetrating these crimes have been pushed, away from their sins, and this helped us to recover, some of the territories that were hitherto held by these terrorist organizations. So what we are saying is that we do recognize that Nigeria has security challenges all around, especially in the northern part of the country. But what we want the world to know is that the drivers of this conflict diverse as they are very complex because we have economic issues, we have issues of land, we also have religious issues there. Very recently, even the Vatican Secretary of State also affirmed that yes, indeed, there are conflicts, there are killings going on in Nigeria in many parts.
President Bola Tinubu has dispatched a high-level delegation to London to discuss the case of former Deputy Senate President Ekweremadu, who has been serving a prison sentence in the United Kingdom since March 2023. Government sources confirm that Nigeria is seeking an arrangement that would allow Ekweremadu to serve the remainder of his sentence in the country. A delegation comprising the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tugar, and the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, held talks on Monday with officials of the UK Ministry of Justice over the issue. After the meeting, the team was received at the Nigerian High Commission in London by the Acting High Commissioner, Ambassador Muhammad Maidugu. Speaking on Monday night, a spokesman for the Foreign Affairs Minister, Al-Qasim Abdul Qadir, confirmed that consultations with the UK authorities are ongoing, adding that a formal request for a prisoner transfer has been submitted. Ekweremadu and his wife were arrested by the London Metropolitan Police in June 2022 after allegedly attempting to procure a kidney donor for their ailing daughter Sonia. He was later convicted in the UK for organ trafficking involving a 21-year-old Lagos Street vendor. It's been over 15 months since the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, revoked Heritage Bank's operating license. But for the bank's former staff, life has gone from bad to worse. Their personal accounts remain frozen, and many have slipped into financial ruin. Since the bank's liquidation, former employees have struggled to survive amid Nigeria's deepening cost of living crisis. On Tuesday, the National Industrial Court in Abuja continued hearing the suit filed by the ex-staff of the defunct Heritage Bank against the Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation, NDIC. Ibrahim Ismail completes the report.
For 15 long months, hundreds of former staff of the now defunct Heritage Bank have lived in limbo. Their salaries unpaid, accounts frozen, and job prospects slim. The CBN revoked the bank's license in June 2024, citing a breach of Section 12, Subsection 1 of the Banks and Other Financial Institutions Act 2020. Since then, life has been a daily struggle for many of the affected workers.
We have lost our jobs, we are being stigmatized. Even when we apply in other banks, they are telling us because you are from Heritage, the management say they should hold on. What is our offense? Our offense is just being a Nigerian and working for a bank that the license was revoked by CBN and NDIC. So this has been our predicament, and honestly it's not funny because we live on begging daily. We've not gotten another job. I personally have not gotten another job. I still have to rely on family and friends to do whatever I want to do. So sad.
And what is really disturbing is it's now over 1 year. The SAF funds had been trapped, our own personal savings that we were asked to bring as a deposit because everybody, as she explained, has target. And the money for me as a business person, have collected so many deposits from customers. All that money is still trapped in the bank. So what we are saying today is please pay us our deposit and our entitlements. And for me, although it's not part of this suit, I still believe pay the customers.
Despite repeated letters, protests and appeals, the former staff say they have been left to fend for themselves. Their frustration has now shifted to courts, where they are seeking justice and unpaid benefits from the NDIC. At Tuesday's sitting, the National Industrial Court in Abuja made fresh pronouncements on the matter.
That they were objecting that, number one, the provisions of KAMA, Section 580, mandates us to seek leave of court before suing them. However, the court has said no, it doesn't apply to National Industrial Court. We don't need to seek leave. On that premise, the court has struck down the provisions of Section 580 of KAMA and has stated that Section 254C of the Constitution, which does not require us to seek leave, is superior. And for that reason, the provisions of Section 580 of KAMA is void and has been struck out.
The case, Elizabeth Olaoye and 144 others versus NDIC, has been adjourned to January 27, 2026. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Abuja.
This is News Hour on Trust TV, coming up after the break. Male breast cancer survivor raises alarm, calls for early detection. This and many more when we return. Do stay with us. Welcome back from the break. In case you're just joining, this is News Hour on Trust TV. Let's take a look at our top stories again. We told you that Katsina residents protest as bandits attack community following failed peace accord. Again, court stops PDP from holding national convention. Moving on to more stories, the People's Democratic Party Anambra State Chapter has suspended its candidate in the just concluded governorship election, Jude Ezenwafo. Ezenwafo was at the Lighthouse Awka, the seat of government of the state, congratulating the governor of the state, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, over his victory in the election, while the state executive committee on the party was meeting at the party secretariat to ratify his suspension. The chairman of the party in the state, Chidi Chidebe, who emerged from the meeting to brief journalists, said their candidate, Ezenwafo, immediately after picking the party's ticket, quickly went incommunicado, refusing to hold meetings or rallies, but later announced that he had been attacked and shot in Abuja. Chidebe, who read out a communique of the state executive committee on the outcome of the election, lamented that Ezenwafo sold out, refusing to campaign or call for help from the party. After reviewing the activities of the candidate, the committee suspended him for 1 month and recommended him for further disciplinary actions to the State Disciplinary Committee. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has issued a certificate of return to the Anambra State Governor Chukwuma Soludo following his re-election. INEC also issued a certificate of return to his deputy, Onyekachukwu Ibezim. The certificates were presented to them by the supervising INEC National Commissioner in charge of the Anambra State election, Kenneth Ukeagu, in Awka, the state capital, on Tuesday. Soludo, who was accompanied by his wife Nonye and his children, commended INEC for the conduct of the election. This came 2 days after Soludo and his deputy were declared winners of the poll by the electoral body. Ukeagu said the presentation marked the end of the democratic process as a symbol of the trust and confidence the people of Anambra have reposed in the governor. He urged Soludo to continue with impactful leadership. Breast cancer is often perceived as a woman's disease, but for one man, that misconception nearly cost him his life. In Abuja, a male breast cancer survivor is sharing his story to raise awareness about early detection and the need for stronger health support for patients across Nigeria. Habibat Ajayi reports.
Health experts and advocates converged in Abuja to explore new strategies for improving cancer care and patient support systems. Among the participants was Mr. Jacob Omonade, a 49-year-old breast cancer survivor whose personal journey has sparked fresh conversations about a disease often misunderstood. Jacob's experience underscores a rare but serious reality. Medical experts say male breast cancer accounts for less than 2% of global cases, but is often detected late due to stigma and poor awareness.
I have done 6 cycles of chemotherapy, and I have had a semi-bilateral mastectomy, and a couple of other tests still going on. Presently, right now, I was told after my last CT scan that the cancer has spread to my lungs and my liver. So I have to go back to systemic treatment again, which is the chemotherapy.
Cancer survivors like Gloria Chinyere emphasize that financial support remains vital as many patients abandon treatment due to high costs.
I was diagnosed in 2017. I've done a mastectomy. I've done several surgeries because I have a recurring cancer that keeps coming back. So I've done several surgeries. I've done radiotherapy. And now I'm on long-term treatment. I had to recommence chemo because the cancer spread. It has really impacted my life in so many ways, both negatively and positively. Positively, I've become an advocate for the disease, speaking up for myself and other people, and trying to give hope to people like me and those that will be diagnosed later.
Dr. Yakubu Agada, the Director of Standards and Quality at the National Health Insurance Authority, explained that while the agency currently supports surgeries and some chemotherapy treatments, plans are underway to expand coverage through a catastrophe health fund for severe diseases, including cancer.
There are the ones that we cover fully, which is a 90%, patient pays only 10%. There's another pathway where, because of the cost, we cover 50% of the cost of medicines, where we are able to have MOUs with the drug companies, the pharmaceutical companies. We are also able to cover 50 by the pharma companies, and then another 30 by the health insurance system.
Usman Aliyu, the Director General of the Nigerian Cancer Research and Treatment Agency, NICRAT, reaffirmed government's commitment to improving cancer detection and care nationwide.
National Health Insurance Scheme and the Institute under the Federal Ministry at the supervision of the Coordinating Minister for Health and Social Welfare has created what we call a catastrophic health fund. And in this catastrophic health fund, cancer is actually one of the 3 non-communicable diseases that are going to be covered. So at least we have multiple channels through which cancer patients are going to be helped.
The Medicaid Cancer Foundation announced the disbursement of $100 million to over 60 cancer patients under its Patient Access to Care program to help ease the financial burden of treatment.
A woman diagnosed with stage 2 cancer in breast cancer in Nigeria today has a good chance of survival. Most of our patients are diagnosed in stage 3 and 4. And so the survival rate for breast cancer is about 25%, a 5-year survival rate. But if you go to high-income countries, UK, US, Australia, and so on, their survival rate is in the region of 90% after 5 years.
As awareness spreads and survivors like Jacob share their experiences, experts hope more Nigerians, both men and women, will embrace early screening and access life-saving treatment without fear or delay. Habibat Ajayi, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The Lagos state government has announced the arrest of 3 individuals for illegally dumping waste at an unauthorized location in the Ayobo area of the state. The arrested persons were identified as 65-year-old Owoshunle Akinola, 47-year-old Adekpeju Sheun, and Sholamikpe Akonwo, all residents of Lagos. Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, disclosed this in a post on his X handle on Tuesday, stating that the offenders were apprehended during an overnight enforcement operation conducted by the Lagos Waste Management Authority Waste Infraction Surveillance and Investigation Team. He said the suspects have been handed over to the agency's legal department for prosecution. The operation, which concluded early on the morning of November 11, 2025, is part of the state government's ongoing campaign to maintain environmental cleanliness and curb indiscriminate dumping. In a bid to tackle environmental degradation and promote sustainable development, the Adamawa state government, in partnership with Justice, Development and Peace Initiative, has launched a massive tree planting project. The initiative, which involves the distribution and planting of over 7,000 tree seedlings across Hong and Michika council areas, aims to restore vegetation, cover and mitigate the impact of climate change. Trust TV's Gibson Sawadigo completes the report.
Ahead of the exercise, over 7,000 seedlings, including economic and environmental tree species such as mango, guava, and others, have been distributed to selected communities, schools, and faith-based organizations across Hong and Michika council areas. This large-scale project is an effort to combat deforestation and promote a greener environment. The effort is a collaboration between the Adamawa State Government and Justice, Development and Peace Initiative, JDPI. The trees are not just for beautification, but to protect the soil, improve air quality, and provide economic value to households.
This initiative was birthed out of these challenges that we've seen with our environment. Desert is encroaching to these areas. So these are the reasons why we decided to embark on these tree planting activities. And to the extent that we are going to see that there's a community approach to this intervention where the community will own the process, and we're building sustainability around it where they will be able to continue even we are not around.
Representative of the Adamawa State Government commended the initiative, describing it as a timely intervention that aligns with the state's ongoing afforestation and climate resilience programs.
I want to applaud the efforts of JDPI and other non-governmental organizations that have stepped into Adamawa State, in fact, to relieve the people of Adamawa State and to restore the destroyed economy and the environment of Adamawa State. Adamawa State is closer to Borno, which is prone to desertification. When you see around, felling of trees has resulted in a lot of hazard to the state and even to the nation. So these organizations have come in at the most right time.
While community members were trained on proper planting and nurturing techniques to ensure the survival of the trees, community leaders on their part expressed appreciation for the gesture, pledging to sustain the campaign for environmental conservation.
We have experienced desertification because of cutting of trees. That is why this program is very, very vital and important, because it will reduce desertification and even erosions.
With over 7,000 seedlings already planted and more expected in the coming months, the JDPI and Adamawa State Government are sowing the seeds of a greener, healthier, and more sustainable future for the state. Gibson Soadugo, Trust TV News, Yola.
The National President of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, NUJ, Al-Hassan Yahaya, has praised Jigawa State for its impressive pace of development, particularly in the agricultural sector, describing it as a model of visionary leadership and good governance in Nigeria. Leading a delegation of national and state officers on a working visit to Jigawa, the NUJ president, accompanied by the State Council chairman, Ismail Ibrahim Duse, inspected several ongoing and completed government projects in the state capital, Dutse. The report.
During the visit, the governor of Jigawa State, Umar Namadi, was formally decorated as the Grand Patron of the NUJ Jigawa State Council. In addition, he received the NUJ Award of Excellence as the Best Governor of the Year in Agriculture in recognition of his administration's outstanding performance in food production and rural development. Speaking during the ceremony, the NUJ President Al-Hassan Yahya commended Governor Namadi's leadership style, describing him as a leader whose commitment and innovation have repositioned the agricultural landscape of Jigawa. He noted that such progress aligns with the broader development vision of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. He further emphasized that the synergy between responsible leadership and a vibrant media is essential for sustaining Nigeria's progress, adding that leaders like Namadi are demonstrating the values of dedication, accountability, and selfless service.
Your Excellency, personally, I went round to ask what is going on in the state. Your Excellency, so far so good. I must commend you and appreciate you for your laudable programs and projects. Your Excellency, this morning, I thought that's all. The chairman and the team came say that we should go around and see some of your laudable programs and projects. Your Excellency, we started with the road constructions. We commend you and we appreciate you. We saw a laudable and standard road constructions going on by a reputable organization. Your Excellency, the housing scheme is worthy of emulation. This is one kind project that I must also cherish and commend you for that. The skill acquisition is also wonderful, Your Excellency. But Your Excellency, my take home is the agricultural project. We gathered here, as I said, not only to pay a courtesy visit, but also to celebrate a significant achievement in leadership and dedication to agriculture in Nigeria. Your Excellency, sir, today it is my honor to announce that the National President NUJ, Comrade Alassane Yahaya, will confer an award of excellence in agriculture at the best governor in agriculture in Nigeria. Accordingly, Your Excellency, sir, we are also here to witness the formal investiture of you at the Grand Patron of NUJ Jigawa State Council as a tradition of the NUJ, sir.
In his response, Governor Namadi expressed appreciation to the NUJ for the recognition, reaffirming the crucial role of journalists in shaping public perception and promoting transparency in governance. He pledged to continue prioritizing development programs that will enhance the welfare of Jigawa citizens and strengthen good governance across the state.
Your visit has really helped to cement a very good cordial relationship that is already existing between the Jigawa State government and the Nigerian Union of Journalists Jigawa State chapter. This visit will continue to be memorable to all of us. One, for the fact that you are here to award the government of Jigawa State the best government in terms of agricultural production. This award is for the government of Jigawa State, it's not for Umar Namadi, because I'm an individual. Whatever we have achieved must have been achieved by the team, including your members. So, on behalf of the team, I want to thank the NUJ for this initiative.
The NUJ delegation's visit, which ended on a positive note, reinforced the bond between the media and government, highlighting Jigawa State as an example of effective partnership in nation building.
Now, Governor Obasani of Kaduna State and several top government officials have attended the funeral of Hajiat Eyebatu Lawal, mother of the Minister of Environment, Balarabe Abbas Lawal. The funeral took place at the palace of the Emir of Zazzau in Zaria. The report.
Family sources confirmed that Hajiat Eyebatu Lawal passed away at the age of 93 after a prolonged illness. Hundreds of people converged on Zaria for the funeral rite held at the palace of the Emir of Zazzau, Ambassador Ahmed Nuhuba Mali. After the Salat prayers, Governor Obasani and other dignitaries joined another special prayer session inside the Emir's palace. Governor Obasani, while praying for the repose of the soul of the deceased, described Hajiat Eyebatu Lawal as a mother of rare virtue who lived a life of service, compassion, and dedication to her family and community.
Hajiat Eyebatu, may her gentle soul in peace. And we are here to express our deepest condolence, bringing the people of the community together, and she has done a lot in bringing everyone closer to her and creating a harmony within the community. All we can say here is that we pray that God Almighty Allah grant her Al-Jannah Firdausi.
Hajiat Eyebatu Lawal is survived by 4 children and many grandchildren, including the Minister of Environment, Balarabe Abbas Lawal.
In business, the presidency on Monday said it is considering a restructure of asset ownership in the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited to increase dwindling crude oil production. The special advisor to the president on energy, Oluvehinjen made this known on Monday at the ongoing Nigerian Association of Petroleum Explorationists conference in Lagos. She stressed that achieving the 3 million barrel daily oil production goal requires performance-based stewardship, as she questioned NNPC's capacity to deliver incremental growth. The development comes amid concerns over low oil production. Crude oil production hovered around 1.3 to 1.5 million barrels per day in the last 2 years, according to data from the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC. Verheijen noted that restructuring the national oil company will revitalize Nigeria's oil and gas sector and ensure energy security and sustainable development. The Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, NUPRC, has announced its intention to commence the 2025 licensing round beginning from December 1st, 2025, in a bid to boost crude oil production in the country. This was revealed by the Commission's Chief Executive Officer, Benga Komolafe, on Monday at the Project 1 Million Barrels Oil Per Day Investment Forum in London. According to him, a decision to flag up the licensing rounds is in line with President Tinubu's plan to grow Nigeria to a $1 trillion economy. A development followed an announcement by the presidency on Monday that it was considering a restructure of asset ownership in the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited to increase dwindling crude oil production. The special advisor to the president on energy, Oluvehinjen, at the ongoing Nigerian Association of Petroleum Explorationists conference in Lagos, stressed that achieving the 3 million barrel daily oil production goal required performance-based stewardship, even as she questioned NNPC's capacity to deliver incremental growth. Away from Nigeria, police in Tanzania have released several senior opposition leaders detained following the deadly protest that followed last month's disputed elections, according to the main opposition party, Chadema. 4 senior Chadema officials arrested last week for their alleged role in the protests were released on bail on Monday, the party said on social media. The unrest came when authorities cracked down on demonstrators against the re-election of President Samia Suluhu Hassan, who was declared the winner of the disputed election with nearly 98% of the vote. Chadema Vice Chairman John Heche and Deputy Secretary General Amani Golugwa were among those released. There were no immediate announcements from the Tanzanian government regarding their release. Alongside the detainment of the Chadema officials, prosecutors charged at least 145 people suspected of involvement in the countrywide protests with treason. More than 170 others have been charged with other protest-related offenses. And now in sports, Nigeria's Super Eagles and their technical crew on Tuesday boycotted training in Rabat, Morocco over unpaid bonuses just days before their 2026 FIFA World Cup Africa Playoff semi-final clash with Gabon. Sources say the players and officials are protesting outstanding allowances, reportedly dating back to 2019, including payments for qualifying for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations and the current World Cup playoffs. BBC sports journalist Oluwashina Akeleji reported on X that the squad was awaiting a quick resolution to continue preparation for Thursday's game, adding that the players were tired of empty promises. Now, the Federal Capital Territory will witness football at its best as the second edition of Corporate Stars Football League takes center stage. Trust TV's Adeni Ajishafe has more.
In a bid to add more sparks to the second edition of Corporate Stars Football League in Abuja, Organizers Five-Star Football League has conveyed innovative means of having a well-planned season, citing improvement from the first edition and making sure participating teams have better atmosphere to compete. During the press conference to sensitize the teams and the public, Five-Star Football laid out various means to advance the league, involving all digital team registration, team statistics, new rules and regulations that govern the league, and more, while the draws also took place to separate the teams into two groups. In his remarks, Managing Director of Five-Star Football League points out the importance of the competition.
We discovered that from our grassroots, we saw that so many players who do not want to play professionally are now working in the corporate space. And they are so energetic and they still want to play football. And then we can all attest to the fact that offices now have ample time outside workplace to gather together and play football, maybe once or twice in a week. And some offices even play for a whole year. And then we discovered there is already an existing structure in offices for sports. Although we are doing football, just football for now, we apologize because we know that other people in other sports there, so that's why we're doing just football.
Chief Operating Officer explained more on the formation of the league.
Okay, the Corporate Stars League is a league that draws individuals and corporate organizations together to come and participate in a football tournament where they get to exercise themselves, they get to network and bond as a way of encouraging fitness lifestyle in and out of the office. Okay, there will be 8 teams participating this year. Coming from last year, we had 4 teams participating, but this year we'll increase the number to 8 teams. The formation this year will be broken down into 2 groups, where we have 1 and 2 of 4 teams in each of the groups.
Football unites and creates avenue for bonding to aid productivity, as spelled out by Amin Abdul and Dare Adefioye.
And the consequences of breaking rules. So with football, you can learn to understand that in your organization there are rules and there are consequences to when you break those rules. That is why referees give yellow cards and red cards. And it also teaches respect for teams or any organization we find ourselves.
Teams cannot wait to outsmart one another for the trophy as the league begins from 15th of November till 13th December for a winner to emerge. That's Sport News. I'm Adeni Aji Shafe.
And that's a wrap on News Hour. Do not forget to follow us across all social media platforms for more programs, news and documentaries. I am Dorcas Yakubuzala. Good night.